Rome is burning when a Democratic-led Congress has forced the articles of impeachment over to the Senate. We're waiting for the Senate to convene and start that trial. As soon as they do, we'll bring you all that. But lost in the news is the banks are burning. Many people have been talking for months now about a repo crisis, about a liquidity crisis. Just last Thursday, the New York Fed added $83 billion in temporary liquidity to banks, and the demand flared up again on Tuesday. And to talk to us about that, David J. Bleeden is here from metals.com, and this can have a considerable effect on gold. David, what's happening here?
Yeah, so the Fed has been busy printing money since September, and they printed $400 billion. And generally, when that happens, you've got two results. It makes the dollars worth less. We see that in inflation, and it makes gold worth more since you can't print gold.
Can we get one of those 3D printers and print some gold?
Yeah, we can fabricate it.
No one's tried that yet.
Right.
So basically, you know, for those at home, I love when our audience learns stuff during the show. When you're talking about the Fed printing money and devaluing the dollar, they're basically just inflating their balance sheet. And the balance sheet of the U.S. government is up from $3.75 trillion to $4.1 trillion in excess liquidity out there.
Right.
This brings the dollar down across the globe. Commodities are priced in U.S. dollars, so it's going to cost you just a few more dollars to get some gold. And I think, you know, with crises all around the world, there still seems to be a flight to safety in gold as a commodity.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few reasons for this. The big hedge fund Bridgewater has gold set at $2,000 an ounce. And the reason why they've got such a projection is because the Fed keeps printing money. Now, according to to John Williams, who's a very famous economist, real inflation is near 10%. Wow. Now, this is not the fake number that they give us. That's real inflation. That means every year it costs 10% more to buy the exact same thing. And that's what makes gold worth more, because you can't print gold.
Let me ask you, David, if I can. It sounds like what you're describing, the pumping situation from the Federal Reserve, the true inflationary number being far higher than what we're led to believe. It sounds like, if what you're describing is accurate, we're heading inevitably towards a major stock market correction. Is that how you see it?
Well, the market is very high according to all the valuations. We're at the top of all of Warren Buffett's valuations. And the market, you know, what a lot of people don't know, and Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, mentioned this, is that companies like Fidelity and Merrill Lynch and Vanguard, they've sold $100 trillion worth of securities, but there's only $2 trillion in liquidity. So that's fine as long as nobody wants that $2 trillion. But that's like saying, you know, there's 100 hungry diners lining up for 2 steak dinners. It's not there. The money is not there, and the Fed is printing money.
Well, we want to, I've talked many times about the Fed staying independent from the president, and I personally think lowering rates helped. But all this seems to me, for those of you watching at home, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it, David, to wrap up here, but it looks like 2020 could be a good year for gold in your portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, the central banks just went on Bloomberg. They said they're moving many of their reserves to gold. Big hedge funds are moving to gold. The best performing hedge fund, Crescent Capital, said that the move of the year is selling stocks and buying gold. So not only is gold a good investment, it actually really exists. And that might be the most important part of this conversation.
All right. Well, metals.com and David J. Bleeden are always there for us to keep you updated on all the different things you may want to have in your portfolio. Dave, thanks for joining us. Thank you for staying with us through hour 2 here. It seems like the Senate is back, so we'll check in there, and we'll come back right here with John LaRocchia, president of Laughter Saves Lives.